Hey YouTube, welcome back. This is Wisconsin Shoe Guy, and today we're going to take a look at a very cool group that I have set up here called Meermin Enthusiasts. This is just a fantastic group where a lot of us get together and talk about Meermin, talk about the great shoes that they make, and really talk about how to make decisions when getting into it. Meermin is a great brand. A lot of folks view it as an entry-level brand, but what we're going to talk about today is really three different reasons to buy Meermin and understand what it's all about. So without further ado, here we go. Hey, I've organized all my playlists on this channel so that you're able to easily find different types of shoes, different brands of shoes, as well as finding all my shoe battles, worth the price shoe reviews, etc., all in one place. Enjoy. Why do we buy shoes, right? Most of us buy shoes because we need something that's going to fit a specific image that we're trying to portray, usually at work, but also for just our casual clothes as well. And we're looking for something that is going to meet several basic needs, right? First, we need to be able to fit the style that we're trying to assign. We need to be able to have a certain level of quality so that they last. And we're also looking for a maker that we trust, right? Bottom line. So Meermin, okay, is a company that is based in Mallorca, Spain, okay? And they had a vision that said, hey, we want to be able to make shoes, but we want to make them we want to make high quality shoes, just like we do in Spain, but we want to make them affordable so that the everyday man can afford them. And so they went through a bunch of iterations over the process of their lifespan, and they've been around quite a while. And what they've done is they started off working with Isetan, I think, in Tokyo, and supplying shoes into their department store. And they've grown since, and now they have this really fabulous direct business, and they even have stores. So they have stores not only in Spain, but they also have a couple stores now in New York City as well. So this is an example of one of their entry-level shoes, and they have entry-level shoes in just about every design that you would like, but they have split toes, various types of split toes. They have hole cuts, they have Adelaides, they have long wings, they have plain toe bluchers. They have your standard cap-toe Oxfords, your plain toe Oxfords, etc. I mean, they have boots. They have like your Chelsea boots. They have your cap toe boots, your split toe boots, the gamut, right? So as you look for a brand, especially if you're you're the type of person right now that's wearing your cemented shoe, your shoe that is not stitched on, that you can't resole. Maybe you're wearing something from Cole Haan or Johnston Murphy, or and not all Johnston Murphys and Cole Haans are bad, right? But there are some that are not that great, and you want to upgrade and you don't know where to go. This is an example of a shoe that can really help you get there. If you're wearing new Florsheim's, I think this is a step above. Now, new Florsheim's, you can get some that are Goodyear welted. Meermins are all Goodyear welted, but the leather quality that you get with Florsheim just isn't as good as it is with Meermin. Now, Meermin is not perfect, right? There are people who have trouble breaking them in, and sometimes there's a piece to that. I've had some pretty good experience. I think I've owned 9 pair of Meermins now, and I've only had 1 pair that was really rough on my feet. And after the 10th or 11th wear, it was completely fine. So I think that it's a matter of expectations, and it's also what we'll cover today a little bit is how you decide what you want to buy and what your price point is, and where you want to go from there. But Meermin, in my mind, has 3 basic levels. Okay, they have the $200 to $230 level, which is going to be your basic classy dress shoe or casual shoe, and they're all Goodyear welted and they're all machine welted. These are going to be uh, uh, made with the heel counters in the back that are stiff, and the lining leathers will be I'm going to say like a quality 2 instead of a quality 1. Not bad. Certainly not as bad as you'll see in some other factories, out there. But it's not going to be what you would get from like an Allen Edmonds, a Tricker's, a Crockett and Jones, etc. Right? But you are only spending $200, okay, list retail price for the shoes. Right? And I think that that's important to note, right? When you spend less money, you have to understand what you're getting for the less money, and what you are getting is you're getting very, very high quality upper leather. Okay, you're getting a choice of that leather, and these are from tannery. They always tell you what tannery it's from, and they're from tanneries around the world. And then you're getting really good soles. This is an Iston sole, okay, the same as you would see on an Allen Edmonds. The stitch density and quality that you get on Meermin is actually pretty good. They actually take some time and do things like fudging on the weld. So there's some nice finishings that you get. Now, is this a handmade shoe? No. Is this as good as a Crockett and Jones or a Tricker's? No, not at all. Is it as good as Allen Edmonds? No, in my opinion, it is not, right? But it is a $200 shoe, and for $200, you get a lot of value in a Meermin. Okay? And so I like Meermin. I always have. I was introduced to it, I think, in 2018. And since then, I've bought 9, right? So, the only reason that I sold the ones that I did was simply because of fit, and that was because my foot changed, not because the shoes changed. Okay, so now Meermin has a number of lasts. For fitting, I recommend asking questions on the Facebook group that I pointed out at the beginning. That is a great forum to ask questions about fit of different lasts. There are a number of people who own a lot of Meermin shoes. I'm probably on the low end here. I mean, one of my colleagues on the admin team has like 23, right? So we have a lot of experience with lasts, and we've talked to a lot of people about Meermin and sizing Meermin, and can help as well. So anyway, so this is they call it a 101601, and it has they make it in this cool London grain leather, and you can see that the split toe hand is hand sewn. Okay, now in order to achieve the $200 price point, what Meermin did was they opened a factory in Shanghai. Okay? What they did was they took a bunch of Spanish cobblers who were trained and worked in Mallorca, and they brought them over there, and they trained from scratch, like the apprentice level and everything. They trained the entire factory floor on how to make Spanish footwear. So they've been around a while. So now they have, they're probably in their second generation of cobblers that are making good quality shoes in Shanghai. Now, China, like all places, has a wide variety of artisans, and they do fantastic work. I'm buying a pair of, or actually, I've got 2 pairs that are on their way from China, and I see nothing wrong with workmen anywhere in the world. Okay, I don't care where they are. And I think that what Meermin has done is they've leveraged the cost of labor, and they're paying fair and equitable wages in Shanghai to folks that are enabling them to offer this quality product at a very, very low price. Now you can buy direct. You're not just through Ishiton. You can go directly onto the website and you can buy them. And as I said, they're I think $194 to $230 for this main line, and then we'll talk about the other lines as well. You do have to pay for shipping, right? Very rarely they will have free shipping too, but you do have to pay for shipping. If you want shoe trees, they do sell their own shoe trees as well, which I think are $40, so not an inexpensive proposition, but they're relatively nice lasted trees. This is the way they come out, and there are a couple different versions of them, and I'll show you those as we look today. But they're pretty good overall. So okay, so what are the other 2 levels, right? Hey, Wisconsin shoe guy, you said there are 3 levels. You've been talking about 1. Get on with it. All right, here we go. And the next one is the shell cordovan line. Okay, now shell cordovan, they have some shell cordovan that's available just on the regular options, but what Meermin does really, really well, and a number of the Spanish brands do this really well, is they have a GMTO which is like a global made-to-order service. So what they do is they say, hey, we'd love to build this design, but we're not going to invest in doing it unless you guys, pony up and get enough orders. Okay, so they'll put out this GMTO, and then once enough people sign up, then you can go and sign up for it. Now, Meermin has taken another step forward, which is where I bought this shoe, where they actually had like a made-to-order weekend for a specific shoe design, and then they offered it in all the materials, all the soles, all the different things that you might want have as options. Right? And so that's how I got these. This is a cognac shell cordovan, which I believe is a Shinki shell coming out of Japan. The shell cordovan line is really what I consider to be their second group. Now, if you think about shell cordovan in the United States, if you want to get shell cordovan, most of the time it's burgundy or black. Occasionally you can get whiskey. Occasionally you can get natural. You can get about 6, I think, or 8 colors from Carmina, which is another shoemaker in Mallorca. But Meermin offers olive color. They offer all kinds of different shades of burgundy. They have ruby. They have there's really a lot of variety that's available, including cognac, which is not the easiest thing to find. So I think that it's definitely worth looking at. Now, if you are in the market for shell cordovan shoes, normally like an Allen Edmonds shell cordovan, you're looking at $695. If you're looking at a factory second, you're looking at $499. Alden, you're looking at $769 type of area, and then it goes up from there. Carmina is $790. Crockett and Jones are up, closer to $1,000 level. So it's a very, very significant investment. But for Carmina, you can get into shell cordovan for $180 more than the regular shoe. So you're talking about $380. It is and sometimes as low as $340. I think I've seen them. So this is a very, very approachable way to get into this market. And is this, the same quality shell cordovan that you get when you spend $700? That is debatable. Right? Now, it's very good shell cordovan. I think that it works out really well, but it is not as nice as Horween. Now, I'm from Chicago, and Horween is in Chicago, so I may have a little bit of a bias there, right? So, generally speaking, the folks that I've read who've done some extensive studies on shell cordovan have said that Horween is right about number 1. And then there are a couple of other ones that are like number 2 and number 3. There's the shell cordovan or Toscana shell cordovan out of Italy. And then there's another one in Japan, which is escaping me right now. And then there's Shinki, which is number 4. That's not to say that it's bad, right? I mean, it's really, really good shell cordovan. It's also very expensive. And the reason that shell cordovan can be anywhere from $180 to a $650 add-on on a pair of shoes is because it is a lot rarer than a cowhide. Shell cordovan is actually a membrane on the rump of a horse, and one shell, if you're like a size 10 European like me, will make 1 pair of shoes. Okay? So it is a very, very an interesting thing. And you can see also as the light goes, it has a lot of color variation that's natural, and they absolutely light up like gold in the sun. Okay? So I love shell cordovan. It also doesn't wrinkle or crease. It has these rolls, which are a very, very different thing as well. It's also basically a tank, right? You cannot hurt this stuff. It's really, really good. I've actually had shell cordovan that I before the pandemic, I used to fly a lot, and I used to sleep on planes, and I would have my feet up against the chair in front of me, and you know how there are like bolts and stuff on those chairs. I had it, so I had those impressions of bolts in the shell cordovan, and I used a deer bone, and I worked on it, and it took like 25 minutes, but it's gone. Okay, so shell cordovan is awesome material, something to look at, and really in my mind, it is a really heavy duty characteristic of Meermin that is not to be discounted. They do a fantastic job with it, and it's not the easiest material to work with either. I've recently been working on talking to some shoemakers who are either finishing their apprentice program and opening their own shop, or still working as an apprentice and opening their own shop. And I'm hearing from them, a lot of them are like, I don't really like working with that stuff. So something else to kind of keep in mind as you look at it. So that's the two levels, right? There's the main level, then there's the shell cordovan level, okay? Then the last level is the hand-welted level, okay? So Meermin, and there used to be a lot of rumors out there that said, you know, these are not actually made in China, they're all made in Spain. And so we'll look and see whether on the tongue it says made in Shanghai, but I'm fairly certain that it does. But let's look, okay? So so this is a pair of the this is a Norvegese welt, okay? So, and it's braided, okay? And this can only be done by hand, okay? And this is in a nature calf, nature calf, which is the same kind of material like on some Poliscophoras that I have, right? So it's a beautiful, very high-end leather. Okay. When you're in the hand-welted line, which they call Linea Maestra, they have they tell you what type of lining you get. Okay, and here it says, designed in Mallorca, manufactured in Shanghai. Right? This is Linea Maestra, also with JR soles, and with this beautiful welt. Now you can get regular hand-welted, like flat welted, and you can get the Norvegese. And they have these in Capto Oxfords. You can get them in some of the made-to-order events. You can get them on any of the shoes. Like I may have, that was a choice for these that I elected not to get. I'm kicking myself about that, by the way. But you know, that was something that was out there. So just absolutely gorgeous. It does cost, you know, I think $180, $140 more to do the hand welting. And to me, that's absolutely worth it, because when they hand welt the shoes, they're not using the machines to do the pieces that make it hard to break in. They also upgrade to beautiful leather heel counters that don't kill my ankles. Okay, so when I'm on this last, which is the last of the shoe that actually hurt me, this is the Elton last. I was very nervous about it, and I've got to tell you, these shoes do not hurt my feet. Okay? And you can tell I have a little bit of wear on them, not much, but these are JR soles, so this is not like a day of wear, right? This is a few days of wear, and normally, if you know, you make it a whole day, you know you've been wearing the shoes. Now, this is a hole cut. Now, but it's not a hole cut, because they have a patch on the back. They don't actually do the seam together, and it's certainly not a seamless hole cut that you would see on a high-end shoe. So that is, again, you look at it and you go, well, wait a second, you know, it's not a hole cut. Why are we doing this? But you know what? This is a hand-welted shoe, and it's under $500, and yeah, that's part of it. Okay, so this is again, this is my opinion, right? I'm not an expert in the shoe business. I'm not interviewing 100 people to get this information. This is based on stuff that I've read and my own opinion. And I welcome the commentary, and if you feel differently about it. But to me, if I'm going to have a shoe that looks like this, right? That is hand welted, that is comfortable, that's made of high grade leather, and that lasts. Okay, and that's a very important part of this, right? These shoes are still very expensive, and I expect them to last, you know, 15, 20 years. And I think they will. Okay, my experience with them has been very good in terms of wear. Then I'm not going to worry about something like that compared to a shoe that, I mean, if I was looking at one that was seamless, I'd be looking at close to $2,000. Okay, and if I was looking at one that had just a single seam, like my Enzo Bonafes are hand welted and have a single seam, and those are you know, those are $600. Okay, so hopefully that that helps you put things in perspective, and think about Meermin. Meermin is a great option out there if you're just getting into shoes, and they do have a really wide selection, so I encourage you to check it out. They also have women's shoes, so that's make a great gift, right? Now look, this is not a sponsored event, right? I am not being paid by Meermin at all, but I do want to be absolutely clear. I do have an event, and it's in the intro, actually, that is on the Meermin Enthusiasts page on Facebook, where if we get to over to 1,500 members, we are giving away a pair of boots. We're also giving away a pair of shoes if we get to 2,000 members. And those are all sponsored by Meermin, but that is for the group. That has nothing to do with my YouTube channel. I am really just a fan. Okay, I'm not compensated from them in any way. So just want to make that clear. So thanks for watching. Look forward to your comments, and thanks again. Bye.